Yeah, yo, thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Man, I know y'all ain't think we'll let these motherfuckers get away with this goofy ass shit they pulled today over this whole shit, right? I'm getting at y'all about it. So today we talking about white supremacist society biting us while silencing us. You know, one thing I can't stand is a biting motherfucker, y'all. A dick riding, biting motherfucker, you understand? And it's like with this whole hashtag white supremacist terrorism we saw today, it just made me think about a lot of things. It made me just really kind of compartmentalize certain important things, right? How different factions in society want to hook into us, but they don't want to be on the hook with us when it's time to ride for us. And what the fuck we on for real, right? Like biting us, but then discarding our voices when we say some shit. Right? Right? I want to talk about that. We've had an issue with black media being silenced whenever white supremacist society feels anxious about this or that we bring to light. We talked about that and just really cutting our messages off whenever they feel they are being made to stare truth in the face over some shit. If it's some truth coming out the mouth and the mind of a black person, they are cowards when they're in the presence of truth and fact like that. It's something white negating and white supremacist society negating, I should say. I want to be on code when I say that. It's something white supremacist society negating about truth that white supremacist society is just ready, warm to respond adversely to. We've keyed into them on that. But after today's mass shootout in Dayton, Ohio, I see some faces in the chat. Yo, what up, worker bar? What up, still learning? What's good with y'all? Let me do y'all like that. Good seeing y'all. Good seeing y'all. Matter of fact, since we in the chat, we got the chat up. Let's see what's up. I just know that it's something white supremacist society negating about being in the room with truth. You understand? And after this psychotic motherfucker had this mass shooting out there in Dayton, Ohio, we noticed a kind of shift happen, a certain kind of shift happen. This time, these motherfuckers dug into our bag to dick ride our sentiments about white supremacist terrorism. They dick ride their way into our bag without giving us no credit for it. I'm watching all of this shit, right? They've been on a roll this week as far as that shit is concerned. As far as with non-ADOS society dick riding our sentiments without giving us credit. Earlier we saw this shit with Tulsi fucking Gabbard. On a national stage, they're doing this shit, right? At the second presidential debates where she called out Kamala Harris for her fucking recklessness with black life as a DA and as an attorney general. Now with this mass killing out there in Dayton, Ohio, I'm sure all y'all seen this hashtag trending, this white supremacist terrorism shit. And I said, man, this is the exact same thing that y'all out there and new black media has been crunching motherfuckers in the temple over for years. We called George Zimmerman out as a white supremacist terrorist. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody blinked. Nobody listened. All right? Officer Roy Oliver, called him out. White supremacist terrorist. Nothing. Dylan Roof called him out. Nothing. Pantaleo, Same thing. Nothing. Nobody batted an eye for none of those instances. What was they saying? They were saying, you crazy niggers, you're making it about race. It's about justice. It ain't about race. It ain't about this and that. We heard all of this shit, right? When these motherfuckers go insane like this, they was kicking this shit. Oh, it's Lady Justice. Justice wear a blindfold. She blind. We heard all of this shit, right? And I'm like, motherfucker, no gas for none of y'all. For none of y'all. Trying to now clamor behind this hashtag white supremacist terrorism. None of y'all. This is one of them cases where they can't even run that it ain't about race shit. They can't even run that shit because if you read the manifestos of all of the fucking killers this week, they've identified themselves as white supremacists. They've identified themselves as operating on race. So anybody talking that shit this whole week, anybody talking that shit to y'all this week, I know they're going to try to talk to y'all about some shit. Trying to dull down the conversation away from race. No. These fucking killers killing random people want to be identified as white. And they little pink parts get erect every time they can think of clouding up off being called a white supremacist terrorist. Let's just put that out in the sky. They're telling us white supremacy is their gang. Therefore, white supremacy is the problem. You understand? Even Trump came out trying to cape for the motherfucker. This dude today. What was his name? Let me pull up his face so we can look at him. Get a good laugh about his ass. Oh, still learning. Say it's never about race when white folk do something racial. You goddamn fucking right. Very right. Still learning. You hit the nail on the head for that one. This dude, let me get his face up here. Excuse me, y'all, while I go through these various screens here. One second. I got his picture. Yeah, there you go. There's this motherfucker. What's his name? Brent. I keep wanting to call him Brent. We got a lot of Brents out in Texas. What's this motherfucker's name? Barrett. I think his name Barrett, something like that. Let me get to it. One of y'all got on off the top of your dome. Y'all let me know. Oh, hold on. Oh, I saw a little bit of blip of what you was trying to say. Something about Chicago came up. I'm going to get into that too, Miss Still Learning. I'm going to get into that too. And ain't nobody getting no free ride off of this shit. This is not what we going to have. We not going to tolerate that. All right? Connor, come on, okay, it's Connor Betts his name. I'm gonna call him Brent so bad. It's Connor Betts is his name. Betts, blah. Connor Betts, like a motherfucker taking a bet, but it's two T's in it. Connor Betts, right? Motherfucking Connor Betts, y'all. He's the guy that we talking about today, right? You see his picture, you see him, you see he got on the see that second picture. Second picture, he looked mad moist. He got on them Village Peoples right there. Hold on, let me smallify the screen so we can all take a look while I can still kind of run a few things. Let me make it smaller if I can. I guess it don't matter. Y'all done seen the boy. Y'all see him? Y'all see him there with those patches on his shirt? His vest that says, I think that says against all gods. Is that patch on his right side? I think it says against all gods. Look at that. Because white supremacy is their religion and a white person is their God. Just put that shit together. A white supremacist is their God. Believe that. And you see the shorts he got on? He got on the YMCA's, y'all. He may be moist. A lot of these fucking shooters that be white supremacist motherfuckers be moist motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no mystery. But enough of his fucking ass, right? I'm just saying, they even had Trump motherfucking ass coming out trying to stave off the accusation that this is about white supremacist terrorism, that it's a race-oriented, act-oriented thing that these repetitive groups of killers want to be attached to. Trump was coming out talking about, oh, it's mental illness, talking all of this shit, right? That's an old white supremacist code word. But it don't work here, Trump. The killers themselves are calling it white supremacist activity. Also, for all of the motherfucking times that we've been shunned for pointing out race, in big or in small, with white supremacist terror acts, look at how white supremacist society is now trying to fake believe in the concept of white supremacist terrorism, right? They're fake believing that these killings are to be walled off to a certain race and a certain act. Keep motherfucking tabs on what the fuck they really doing, all right? And they running with this hashtag, is what I'm saying. Like, but they're not running with the hashtag to the extent that we really deserve for it to be talked about in this country, this hashtag, right? Not to the gravity that it really deserves, is my point. That's the key takeaway I want y'all to have from this post. If y'all don't get shit else from this post, I'm a little pessimistic about that. You know what I mean? I'm not believing that they're going to turn on a whole new leaf against white supremacist terrorism. I don't believe that. I do know that, like usual, that a great population of people are just flat out late to the party. I know that. As far as running with this designation that we've been pushing about white supremacist terrorism, I know that a lot of the dominant society and their designated loyal lapdog classes that we talk about are late to this party. So it's just another instance in my eyes to where they don't get no cigar from me. You don't get no cigar for being late to the fucking party like that. We've been on this. What do you get for being late to the party? You get ADOS society. We get to throw another party inside of the party that you late to, called the I Told You So party. All right, that's something I've created on this channel. I haven't heard nobody talk about the I Told You So parties. Y'all know I run those, right? We get to throw an I Told You So party in the midst of the party that everybody else late to this week. I want y'all to feel like that. Feel that. Right? I'm not going to slip up on the accounting of this anti-black war that we've been in and not keep up with the order of events that has been happening on the calendar in front of the whole fucking universe. I ain't going to miss. I shoot and I don't miss, man. Even when the masses of motherfuckers is running with something that we created as a group. Everybody running with this shit, right? Everybody running with it, but I'm not moving. I'm not jumping up and down. They're running with this shit and not giving us direct, explicit credit for it. I have a problem with that. I'm not going to stop beating them upside their head over the fact that they've been running from what we've been telling them this whole motherfucking time. That's my first point. You understand? Oh, hold on. I see coming from Still Learning. I'll check it out in the mix a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? How many people I got in the chat? I see a few other faces that are not identifying themselves. That's cool. That's cool too. But I'm saying, like, we've been calling these motherfuckers out for this type of shit. When Colin Kaepernick was calling out white supremacy and calling out police brutality, what was it? You fired from the NFL. You niggers need to go back to Africa if you don't like being here. It was all this shit, right? And more recently, it's, you take HR 40 instead of those reparations you asking for black people. That's a form of white supremacist terrorism. Not getting paid for slavery, that's white supremacist terrorism. Yet when the same group of black people we call out white supremacist terrorism or now the whole world is jocking it because we're faced with a situation where some random group of people got caught up in a white supremacist terrorist act. The hashtag all of a sudden just trends. Shit's trending like hotcakes. Like, that seems like y'all are selectively giving cover to white supremacist terrorism. Don't that make sense to y'all? These motherfuckers are selectively giving cover to white supremacist terrorism. When we bring it up, it's all you niggas don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna punish you niggas for that shit, for even bringing it up. But when everybody else find a lane, and that's what I'm gonna get into in this particular post, is the various motherfuckers that's gonna be jumping on this shit. I've seen so much crap on the fucking social media world today. It's just enough to make your head spin. But by selectively giving cover to white supremacist terrorism, these motherfuckers is making it worse. By choosing to respond differently when we bring it up, as opposed to a few people that are going to be opportunistic behind this shit. I'm going to bring them up today. Just stay tuned. I'm going to bring it up in a bit. That is the problem. That's what makes the shit worse. I'm getting Facebook notifications. I'm like, man, I hate Facebook. I just had to say that. You know what I'm saying? I've been getting these Facebook notifications since I signed back on to Facebook. I've never had a Facebook account. I only had like for a couple of days, never used it. But I got a Facebook account now, and it's just, they running notifications. I hope y'all don't be disturbed by that. So the shit just goes deeper than what they trying to make they little blip, they little, you know what I'm saying, they little blips, they little whatever the fuck's in media about. For me. So for all these folk tweeting and retweeting and whatever, white supremacist terrorism, white supremacist, I'm going to have to see some receipts, motherfucker, about your struggle, goddammit. That's what I'm really at. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some receipts that you've been getting targeted by white supremacist society, by white supremacist media for standing up against white supremacist terrorism. I got to see you've been on some certain shit before the mass shootings that have happened this week. I got to see some real shit from you, or it's no cigar. You understand? I gotta see some evidence of you getting trolled by sympathizers of white supremacist gangs on your social media accounts. I got people trolling me still about videos I've done a year ago about white supremacist militia groups like the 3%ers. With all kind of nigger, you fucking dumb, you fucking idiot, you fucking nigger, all this shit, right? All this dumb shit. We got Tariq getting banned this week from the UK over a movie, a fucking movie. Motherfuckers are shook over movies and shit, right? I want to see that kind of profile for all the people running with this hashtag. You understand? I'm telling y'all, yo, the weeks coming up, these weeks that are coming up leading to these presidential debates and some of these final presidential debates, they're going to be very motherfucking interesting. I'm doing this post now to tell y'all who not to be taken seriously when this continues to swell like it has and like it will be. All right? I want to say that with a few things, there's a few things that I've kind of just pointed out. I want y'all to expect a few things that I think is pivotal in our investigation of how this is going to actually move and what the trajectory going to look like. They're going to try to really politicize this. Don't let them politicize this shit too hard. This is what I really want to get at. I've already seen people pointing out shit like, oh, the Democrats, they're going to push the hashtag white supremacist terrorism to try to win the presidency. I'm like, who? The Democrats? Who of the Democrats are you going to find that's going to make it in these last couple debates or whatever that's going to push hashtag white supremacist terrorism and be believable? Who you going to find? Who? Kamala lock them up Harris? Lock them black people up Harris? Klobuchar let the race soldiers go for killing black children? Biden? Crime bill Biden? Who? Sanders? Who? Nobody has a black agenda to address white supremacy or to address white supremacist terrorism. They've all sworn off black agenda in favor of everybody else in the world. Immigrants, people of color, LGBT, all of this shit, all these other groups getting protectionism, all this shit happening. Those are the groups who are being fucking handheld by all of the whoever the fuck is left. Those are the groups. So who's going to propel the Democrats behind that banner of white supremacist terrorism legitimately and can show a record of harm under white supremacist terrorism like we can? Who's going to push them that got the same motherfucking steam that we got, that's lit the fuck like we is? Nobody. Nobody. They're going to try to wrap the Republicans around this shit. Hold up. They're going to try to wrap the Republicans around this shit if y'all want to believe it. Let me show y'all. Republicans talking about video games is to blame for this shit. Video games. It was on Fox this morning talking about, video games. That's it. That'll do. Some old geezer talk. That's old geezer talk. Talking about a video game. You know what I mean? Y'all read the tagline. With no info whatsoever, Fox News host randomly speculates that video games caused El Paso shooting. Yo, they did it again today. Now, video games is trending for this shit. Video games is trending now for this shit. It's actually trending. When I checked last, it was trending more than the hashtag white supremacist terrorism. Y'all see what's happening? It's like in the 400Ks as far as trending. White supremacist terrorism probably about in the 300s now. It was creeping up on the 300s when I last checked a few hours ago. But I just checked the video game hashtag. That shit is in the 400 plus almost 500K. The Republicans are going to try to cloud up off of this shit. They're going to try to make something out of it. I mean, wrap their ass around this shit. Yo, they're going to try to wrap immigrants around this. I saw a tweet today saying the shooter was a white supremacist terrorist. Hashtag white supremacist terrorist. Not an immigrant. The shooter in Gilroy. Yeah, they went by a list of places. They said, the shooter in California was a white supremacist terrorist. Not an immigrant. The shooter in El Paso was a white supremacist terrorist. Not an immigrant. Running that immigrant shit. The shooter in Ohio was a white supremacist terrorist, not an immigrant. Let me show y'all this shit. So, just know they're going to try to use our lifelong talking point of white supremacist terrorism. This shit we've been running with for life with this. They're going to try to use that to run bases for the immigrants. Let me pull that shit up just so y'all don't think it's a joke. Let me pull it up so y'all don't think it's a joke. Here you go. You see this shit? El Paso shooter is an angry white male. Okay, so look, they put angry white male in this tweet, but in the actual writing part of the tweet, what they supposed to write, they put the hashtag white supremacist terrorist. They're trying to cloud up off of the ideology hashtag white supremacist terrorism. Okay? You understand? I'm sure y'all saw plenty of suspect white supremacists trying to tell different threads about this white supremacist terrorist who shot up all these people. With Chicago, I wanted to touch on that. Still learning. You brought that up. I wanted to jump on that. I'm sure y'all saw these suspect white supremacists in these various social media platforms trying to tailwind the blips over this shit. Talking about Chicago, putting up old Chicago shooting data. What about Chicago? To deflect from the 3 days of mass killings that we've seen with white supremacist terrorists, which has went unaddressed for centuries with some goddamn Chicago. And of course, people ain't falling for this shit. Some people jump right on their heads and was like, motherfucker, Chicago, are you sure that those out there in Chicago, those killings in Chicago weren't white supremacist terrorists to begin with, too? Are you sure they're not white supremacist terrorists out there also? Right? People ain't playing. People understand what the fuck going on. What the fuck is at play? And we've talked about the gun pipeline coming from Indiana into Chicago and how that route is never disturbed. It's never intercepted by law enforcement. They just let it operate. So motherfuckers, be for real. Be for real. Quit playing. They're going to try to wrap LGBT around this. If you can believe it. They're going to try to wrap LGBT around this because of the this political nature of gun ownership, how it's polarized between Republicans and Democrats to such a degree. The Democrats are supposed to be the LGBT party. Historically, that's been their thing. For a while, the Democrats for a while, they have been one to depend on LGBT and black people as their largest, undivided, guarantee they gonna vote for us base type shit. They've been on LGBT and black people. And of course, you see, we flipped that script on their ass. We've completely flipped that on its ear this time around. And the LGBT, damn, they are actually politically divided right now. If you want to look at it, they got gays for Trump and all this other shit. But LGBT, they still politicize through them. They still politicize through the Democrats to an extent, right? You got Kamala caving for them with the violence against trans bill. You got Elizabeth Warren trying to pass the bill, or there's been a few bills I think that have passed for them getting reparations in terms of, or set asides rather, in terms of, like, if you are a gay person and you got a gay spouse, you can file as a married couple or whatever. You can file jointly or whatever. That's a set aside that she's pushing, right? And Democrats are supposed to be the most pro-gay party, right? I'll put that in air quotes. Like I said, we do got Gays for Trump by Peter Boykin. He's an open white supremacist. But believe that the Democrats in particular are going to try to galvanize this to their party's advantage. Because, they don't got a group that's going to speak for their efforts and their side about guns as far as, what's happening in the Senate and House and all of that shit. No Democrat in real power can jail with Trump. No neo-Nazi white nationalist element of the Democrats. They don't got that type of shit going on. That's those bad old Republicans, quote unquote, right? Republicans got the white extremist crowd under their wing, and you're gonna hear all kind of shit. They're gonna be going in on Mitch McConnell. These Democrats, they're gonna be jumping on his head for the next week. For this universal background check shit, it's gonna get kind of funky with them. But back to it, just watch the LGBT. Watch them out of all of this. They're really gonna try to push this to get themselves some political stride. There's an LGBT dude kicking mad slander through his publication. I'm sure y'all heard of this shit. Media Matters. Y'all heard of Media Matters? There's an LGBT dude named David Brock. He was a diehard Democrat who left the Republican Party because he felt that they didn't like him because he was gay. He was mad because they didn't like him because he was gay, or he felt that he was not welcome being gay or whatever. And he got his ass in a screw over that so hard that he started Media Matters and started crusading against Republicans, right? Or anybody that could keep the Republicans in any potential office or anything. He got like big money behind this shit. Big money. And recently, like a few months ago, like mid-April, he went in on ADOS on a recent piece. He went in on us because he, again, that's that false equivalence that people make to try to associate ADOS with some sort of political party affiliation. We don't give a fuck about no political party. We're abstaining from that whole process as far as presidential people are concerned. We're abstaining from that. But he's one of those guys trying to falsely attribute ADOS to wanting to get the Republicans and all this type of shit. He's one of those dummies, right? So understand that these white supremacist LGBT people, they put LGBT grudge over party affiliation. They'll switch sides in a minute. Pause. They'll adopt whatever hashtag they got to run with to sort of tractor beam through the needs of whoever they want to tractor beam through the needs of. In our case, it's America's ground state blacks. And it ain't shit for them to take a broad swipe at foundational black America in order to push an LGBT agenda of wanting a Republican president out of office in politics. Ain't nothing stopping them from moving like that, right? So we gotta deal with motherfuckers like him. You know what I'm saying? All the black LGBT motherfuckers understand, man. All my black LGBT people, since y'all over there too, you know what I'm saying? They will crush your black ass on behalf of some LGBT. Pause. They will side with people who don't want nothing for black society if it means LGBT gets some shine. And they'll run with a hashtag and act like that's something that they really stand for when they don't give a fuck about your black behind. That's my TED talk to you LGBT black motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. You know what I'm saying? That's my TED talk to the black LGBT. Let me put up this picture of this guy so y'all can see, because I didn't know how this David Brock character looked. Let me get to him. Here we go. This is David Brock. We're going to see from this guy in the coming weeks and months. We're going to see this guy. He's going to have shit to say about ADOS. Just know the face of a hater. You know what I mean? Know that. Oh, let me see. Hold up. Here's Peter Boykin. Gays for Trump. The Republican side of anti-black behavior, right? Throwing up the white supremacist sign, right? Gays for Trump. There you go. Transition there, okay. But they're going to be running with this white supremacist terrorism hashtag rather, over the coming weeks to benefit their news cycles as LGBT is my point. I went on Media Matters today to see if they ran with this hashtag yet. They haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet because they were still reeling from El Paso shit. They haven't picked up on this yet. Maybe because they say, oh, that sounds too much like something black people would say. We don't like black people over here in the LGBT gay community. In the LGBT gay Democrat community, we don't like black people. That's probably what they saying. That's probably why they ain't put the blip up. But they got El Paso up there. All right. But just understand and take a bow, my ADOS family. Goddamn, this is us covering real ground. And they're going to try to everybody the shit into the ground where the focus gets watered down and the real root of hashtag white supremacist terrorism gets ignored. They're going to use it for a temporary ladder. They're going to be laddering rather. You say it right. They'll be laddering off of black society, off of this that we created, which is why I put in the motherfucking thumbnail, the ADOS brain up there, and everybody's trying to, if they build it, we will come and shit. Worshipping at our brain type shit. All this ADOS brain worship shit going on, right? That's why I did that. Everybody gonna try to opportune off this vibe we've been kicking, so always be ready to let people know where it came from. Let people know the root of where it came from. Alright? Speaking of the fucking root, did y'all see this shit with the root on Twitter today? I even saw they coon asses trying to make a statement using white supremacist terrorism. Let me pull it up. Let me pull this shit up. The root sitting up talking about, there you go. The hashtag white supremacist terrorism is being used to demand gun reform, call out the betrayals of victims and perpetrators alike, and provide concerned citizens a public platform to mourn the countless lives we've lost to gun violence. The root, y'all. There they go, the root. So, we know what's up with Root. We know what's up with them. I did a reply to them that I'll chop it up and bring it to y'all. I remember what I said. I'm like, yo, this is the same Root that's calling the same people who thought of white supremacist terrorism when we was using it in media all day through the fucking night, banging on motherfuckers behind the shit. When we was using it, it was you bunch of hoteps. You're a bunch of hoteps. And what that one dude, Damon Young, one of their writers, Damon Young, calling black men the white men of black society, right? Oh, no, heterosexual black men are the white men of black society, kicking that shit, right? This type of shit. This is the root we talking about. The root that don't even like black people. They don't like black people. They don't like ADOS. We're hoteps to them. But they running with our hashtag, the shit we've been mulling over and soaking on and intellectually keeping up a current on over here in new black media. Right? Same fucking root that got shit to say. You know what I'm saying? While we doing all of that. Is now they're going to be on our nuts. Now they jocking. Now they dick riding. Now they nut hugging. Right? So even the coons, y'all, even the coons are going to be running with this. And we know the root is not going to give us no credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Be it ADOS Society, be it New Black Media, whatever. We're hoteps. We're hoteps to them. Hoe ass niggas. Y'all know what I even saw, man? I even saw Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know what his problem is. But he wants some biscuits, is what it seemed like. He biscuit caping. Caping for biscuits. Let me pull up his sentiment. This fool's like, people are talking about white supremacist terrorism, but all these people die in this. Here you go. Here you go. He's like, yo, in the past 48 hours, the USA horrifically lost 34 people to mass shootings. And then as a diversion, he says, on an average, across any 48 hours, we also lose, diverting. He's a coon trying to divert. 500 people to medical errors, 300 to the flu, 250 to suicide, 200 to car accidents, 40 to homicide via handgun. Often our emotions respond more to spectacle than to data. So he's calling this a spectacle. He's calling the hashtag a spectacle. He's calling the concept of white supremacist terrorism, as defined by the people in their own damn manifesto, spectacle. Hold up, I see Fireside Chat. Hey, Mama D, what's good, Miss Lady? Good seeing you, good seeing you. Yo, I'm finna be watching that post on the man T West probably the next couple of days. Been busy. But I ain't finna forget. I'm gonna check it out and see what you saw in it. See what I can glean from it, right? But we got Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like I said, even he coming out cooning behind this shit, and people jumped on his ass. They was like, man, come on. He's I don't want to say he's trending, but people are jumping on his ass like, motherfucker, you are a coon. You are cooning, okay? So we're gonna get all manner of denial, all manner of coon. I'm doing this post to show y'all the various sides that we're gonna see crop up and pop up and act like they want to act and try to run whatever kind of basis they're gonna try to run behind this shit. I want y'all to just have a scope for all of this shit that we're gonna be hearing and people gonna be kicking in our ear this whole fucking week behind this shit. So by watching this video, you will all be prepared. By watching this post tonight, y'all will all be prepared on anything anybody can say. Anybody talking about Chicago, anybody talking about whatever. You will be ready. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to kick, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, so you know when I'm dropping and all of this. Don't forget to check out my Teespring. That shit jumping. Keep all kind of shit in tow for y'all. You know what I mean? Keep it in tow. Why they playing? Why they acting like they, you know what I mean? That's how the fuck we do things. Why they playing? Why they doing it? Why are they doing it? Eh? Let me get it, y'all.